Everybody, it's 5 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, and as tradition, we'll ask board members and honored members to say hello.
Hello, Julie Powell.
Bill Scaletta.
Rachel Wade.
Greg Eating.
Jason Beckrow.
Kevin Bushu.
Jeff Hannon.
Scott Allen.
Griffin Ott.
All righty. Go ahead and get started with our agenda. Back to school night for the high school is tonight at 6 o'clock, prompting the 6 o'clock start time. So I appreciate everyone's flexibility. 5 o'clock, what did I say?
6.
I said 6.
It's okay.
The back to school night starts at 6 o'clock.
Gotcha.
So the board meeting was pushed up a half hour. And again, board members and community, thank you for your consideration in adjusting your schedules. So number 2 on our agenda, here's the approval of tonight's agenda. So board members, please take a look and let me know if you'd like any changes to that. And if not, I'll accept a motion for its approval.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And item number 3, we'll move on to consent action items. Again, please look through. Let me know if you'd like any changes, discussion, and if not, we'll accept a motion for its approval.
So moved.
Support.
All right, we will do a roll call vote. Starting to my left here, Mr. Scaletta.
Yes.
Ms. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Bushu.
Aye.
Mr. Hannon.
Aye.
Mr. Allen.
Aye.
Mr. Ott.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Number 4, Superintendent Informational Report. Mr. Eating, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So we have our first couple weeks of school under our belt. I feel like our professional learning communities system of collaboration has been a focus of our administration and work, and it's really starting to slowly pay off for us. We continue to work on curriculum, assessments, and interventions for our students too, so that they can learn at high levels. That's always the key. And honestly, I'm really excited to look at what that's going to show for us in the next couple of years, if nothing else. We also continue to work on a potential capital bond project. We had 3 community forums that we completed and got some great feedback from our community. Most of that feedback was in terms of needs versus wants, which is great to hear. Our administrative team developed 3 lists, which were priority needs, energy efficiency and modernization improvements, and educational program enhancements. We've hired Perspectives Consulting to conduct a survey of all residents within our district with the goal to find what our community will support. The survey actually went live today and will be available for the next 2 weeks. And this morning we sent out a lot of communication to kind of notify our public about that. We sent it out by social media, email, a text message will be sent out this evening, Facebook, newsletters for school, and we'll continue to try to get as much input from the community as we possibly can. Then once that survey is completed, after the 2 weeks are up, Perspectives Consulting will provide us with a full report that we'll publish to the whole community, and they'll actually come to a board meeting and do a full report with us here. I'm also excited to report that we started this year off with our new school resource officer, Mike Dorr, and he's quickly making his presence known in all of our buildings. Officer Dorr has been definitely noted throughout our buildings. I think there's been a few folks that have called and said, "Hey, what's going on at the elementary?" And like, no, it's our new school resource officer. So it's going to take a little time for our families to get used to that level of law enforcement, but I'm excited about it. He's working on several projects, including updating all Lincoln Township vehicles with important school information in the event that it should ever be needed. And he's also working with building administrators to review and provide feedback on safety measures within each building. And of course, the things that pop up that happen on occasion. So overall, it's been a great start to the year. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to number 5, Board of Education reports versus Administrative Affairs. Mr. Bushu, could you read that for us?
Yep.
The Administrative Affairs Committee met on Tuesday, August 30th at 7:15 a.m. in the Central Office Conference Room. Present at the meeting were Greg Eating, myself, Jeff Hannon, Griffin Ott. The committee discussed the opening day professional development, the change in the start times for the schools, and a curriculum review process that Dr. Powell is developing.
Thank you, sir. Facilities and Finance, Mr. Ott.
On Thursday, September 8th, 2022, the Facilities and Finance Committee met, consisting of Kevin Bushu, Rachel Wade, myself, Greg Eating, and Tracy Althouse. Topics discussed, but not limited to, were the following. Tracy presented monthly statements of cash flows, investments, and sinking fund. An audit update was given with the expectation of an October presentation. Nothing of concern has been noted. Tracy updated the committee on next year's budget based on summer hiring as well as the State Aid Act that was passed. We are waiting on FTE count after the 10-day drop period. There will be a budget update in October. Community usage for the field house was discussed. More information will be available in the next few weeks on that. And Greg gave the committee an update on our school resource officer and what he has done in the last few weeks and what the future plans are as well.
Thank you, sir. Policy Committee, Mr. Allen.
The Policy Committee met on Tuesday, September 6th at 4:30 p.m. in the Central Office Conference Room. Present in the meeting were Bill Scaletta, Rachel Wade, myself, and Superintendent Eating. The committee discussed the change in start times for the schools, the curriculum review process that Dr. Powell is developing. The committee also discussed the school handbooks, which have very few changes, and the issue of how attendance is handled through the handbooks.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll go to number 5D, relinquishing of federal funds. Mr. Eating.
So this fiscal year, we will not be applying for federal funds for Title III, Part A. English learners, we will relinquish these funds. This is something that we have done for several years, mostly because accepting those funds has more money involved with it than actually keeping or taking the funds in because of the hoops we have to jump to go through those funds. So,
Again, we've done this historically. The cost of the compliance items is greater than
Correct.
the benefits.
correct. And
Still
that's not that
providing
we
the
don't
services.
have English learners and curriculum and work we put in English learners, but it's just that going through the part of actually meeting the needs of those grant funds is extremely costly at times to the district. So,
Yeah, the work's still being done.
Correct.
For the learners, but the hoops for the regulatory and compliance.
Yep.
So, any discussion or questions, board members? If not, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Support.
And we'll start with Mr. Ott,
Aye.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Mr. Hannon,
Aye.
Mr. Bushu,
All right.
Ms. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Scaletta,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye as well. And last, under Board of Education reports, is the annual MASB, the Michigan Association of School Boards Delegate Assembly. This year, it looks like it's on October 20th. We are allowed up to 3 voting members. I guess 3 voting members and 3 alternates, so we could nominate the whole board. Is anyone, what day of the week is the 20th? Does anyone know that?
Thursday.
It is a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock in the Grand Rapids area, so I'll go ahead and,
What's in Traverse
I think it's in Traverse City.
oh, Acme's up there?
Traverse Resort.
Oh,
Acme.
okay. Is anyone interested in going, would like to go? A lot of times what we'll do is we'll nominate folks that can be available, but rarely do we attend when it's that far up north.
I'm unable to this
Yeah.
year. Yeah, on that
I
date.
can if we need to send somebody.
Griffin, Ott?
Why don't Griffin then?
And I can too, if you want to.
Okay. I'll put my name down as well. Just a lot of issues going on this year, so why don't we, if that's okay, Rachel, would you like to?
No, I'm not able to get either.
Throw me down.
Tell you what, I'll put myself down then as an alternate,
Okay.
and then I would nominate Griffin, Jeff, Bill. Rachel says, no, thank you, you're unable, and you,
No.
okay. How's that work?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We got 3 delegates, 1 alternate. Okay, do we need to,
So moved.
so moved?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That was easy. Thanks, everybody. Back to you, Mr. Eating, for Superintendent Recommendation. Actually, to Ms. Powell, or Dr. Powell, I believe.
Yes. We have a teacher requesting a leave of absence and one who has returned to Lakeshore. The first teacher, kindergarten teacher Katie Walter, she's not presently working. She had a baby over the summer. She was going to be back in the late fall, but decided that she would like to have a leave of absence for the 22-23 school year to care for her baby. She gave birth in June, started the new school year on maternity leave, and now has asked to extend her leave through June 2023. This is not, we've had other people do this, so this is par for the course. When you get home, sometimes you want to stay home for a little bit longer. So we will put someone, we have someone in her place already, and we will handle that. The other thing is, due to a late resignation at Stewart's, retired teacher Janine Harrison, who probably everyone knows, has returned to teach. Back in her same room, in her same grade, at her same building. So we're very grateful. She first said to me, funny story, you know, I can probably help you out for like 10 days. I know. I said, Janine, 10 days isn't going to cut it. You either need to be here all year. She's like, whoa. I'm like, yep, all year. So she said, you know what, I'll do it. So we're very grateful for her for that. I do see we have a few new teachers in the audience that probably haven't been recognized before, even though they've been approved before. Like Allison, I see you. I see a couple of you. Will you just stand up real quick and say your name and just your name, your building, and one thing you like about being at Lakeshore so far? All new people. Allison? Yeah.
I'm Allison Grumline. I'm the project at the middle school and work with Atlas. And so far, I love my classroom with windows. And the kids, of course, they've been awesome. So it's been great.
Yep. All right.
I'm Hillary Smith. I teach 8th grade math at the middle school, and I taught middle school years ago, and I'm enjoying the middle school kids.
Yep.
Fun age group.
Well, I thought Lance was back there. Anybody else? Oh, Lisa. Lisa.
Lisa Callahan. I'm 3rd grade at Hollywood, and I'm just excited and thrilled to be with the 3rd graders and finally be a permanent with Lakeshore.
Yep.
Chris is over here too.
Who is? Oh, yeah. Chris Grappus.
Hello, I'm Chris Gravis, and I'm one of the new band directors. I'm very happy to be returning to the band family.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right, awesome.
Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for letting me put those people in. I saw them out there, so.
I'm sorry, the teacher in the back at Hollywood?
Yeah.
Could you pass our gratitude to Mr. Hepler for these beautiful flowers from the garden?
Natalie's back there
garden.
too.
Is very good. Thank you. Okay. Let's take action then on the hiring of Katie Walters, rehiring, and
No,
Leave of
her
absence for Katie.
we're going to undo the leave of absence and then the rehiring of Janine Harrison. Is there any discussion or questions from board members? If none, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All righty, motion carries. Overnight trips.
Okay, we had kind of a late addition to these overnight trips. So the following high school overnight trip requests were received. Dual national championships at SEMA. 6 members of the Lakeshore Varsity Hot Rodders senior team have qualified and would like to attend the Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Dual National Championships at the SEMA show in Las Vegas, October 31 through November 4th. And dual national championships at PRI. If the team finishes in the top 4 of the SEMA, they would like to compete at the Elite and National Championships at the PRI show in Indianapolis, December 7th through 10th.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And then the later addition here is the high school choir New York City trip. About 25 students and 5 chaperones would like to travel to New York City in April 13 through 17, 2023 for a superb musical experience. They will see 2 Broadway musicals, attend a workshop with a Broadway performer, and sing at a cathedral. I think they wanted us to approve this before they started fundraising for it.
Okay.
So,
Board members, is there a motion of support?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. CTE course credits. Is that right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at my
Page 30, I think.
page 30. I added my
yeah.
one
This is-
into my book, so it was kind of out of order.
Oh, I
the
skipped
welder
over
my fault.
bid
Page
approval
30 first.
Yeah, 31, isn't it?
Yeah, bid approval, right?
for the welder.
For Reality Welders purchase. So 3 bids were received for the purchase of 2 virtual welders for the CTE program. These devices offer a realistic welding simulation and can check the quality of the weld without wasting materials.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. The bids were as follows. Miller Welding Supply of Buchanan was $58,850. Voluntary Alternate, which pig pedestals and cases, were $4,860. Roy Smith Company out of Detroit was $51,960. Holtz Communications out of New Jersey was $62,779.98. Our recommendation is to accept the Miller Welding Supply bid, including the alternate bid, for a total of $59,710. This purchase would be funded through Berrien Risa's CTE program.
Board members, any questions or discussion? And is there a motion of support?
So moved.
Support.
And we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Ott?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Hannan?
Aye.
Mr. Bushu?
Aye.
Ms. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Scaletta?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye as well. Now we're on to CTE, page
Yes.
33.
So each year, the board is asked to approve the established Michigan Merit Curriculum credits that are covered through the state-approved CTE courses in which Lakeshore High School offers. This year, the courses are Education General, Mechanical Drafting, Heating, Air Conditioning, Ventilation and Refrigeration. It's all one. Automotive Technician, Machine Tool Operation Machine Shop, Welding, Brazing, and Soldering, Therapeutic Services, and Marketing, Sales, and Service. We currently have a total of 275 students enrolled in our CTE classes, with 86 of them coming from other schools in the county.
Again, board members, any discussion? Or is there a motion for its approval?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Now we're at the bottom of our agenda, public comment. I have one green slip here. Are there any?
Yes, Robin Doyen.
We have 2 speakers registered to speak tonight. They are Robin Doyen and Robin Graffinius. Ms. Doyen, is Robin Doyen here? Okay.
I would like to address the board. I'm a former employee of Lakeshore.
Is that on?
Oh.
It turned on. Thanks, Paul. Sorry.
Check 1, 2. Check, check.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that one good?
Paul, I have a, maybe I don't.
Oh, do you have? Okay. Yep. Let's do that.
Thank you. My name is Robin Doyen. I'm a former employee of Lakeshore. I worked here for 23 plus years. I guess my question to the board is, had you been standing in my shoes on the day of my termination, I'm kind of concerned about what you would have done. So here's what happened on June 4th of 2021 at approximately 12:20 outside the computer lab in a very crowded hallway while students were passing between classrooms and returning from lunch. I heard much of heckling out in the hallway. As I looked down the hallway, there was a student with crutches spread out. She had bent over quite far because she could support herself, and she was doing a performance that was not okay, and I believe in this day and age they call it a twerk. According to the Webster Dictionary, it's a dance that is of a provocative manner with thrusting and moving gyrations. If you had looked down the hallway and saw the girl heckling and laughing, I believe the policy is that I was supposed to write it on a sheet of paper and turn it into administrators to handle behavior issues. As we all know, that there are some behaviors that you can write on a sheet of paper. I would say the majority of them, yes, you can handle, and administrators handle them. However, when there are some behaviors that are so radical, and you as the adult witnessing such an act, I think it's important that you be allowed to approach the situation and stop such a vile act. I did not touch the child. I walked her to the office. The students who witnessed what I saw, and there was probably at least 20 plus students who saw what was happening, sad to say, there were some children that were enjoying what they were seeing, and then there were some children who were terrified. My character says that I could not look away from that. I left the library. I walked down the hallway. Like I said, I felt like the children who witnessed what they saw had to be addressed because I didn't think anybody adult would be around to take names on who actually witnessed this. And I wasn't sure if the parents or grandparents or the people who were in charge of these children had an opportunity to discuss what these children saw. So for me, I feel like policy needs to be addressed about how children behave in buildings when there aren't adults around. And if behavior is going to be in a manner where it's sexual of nature, whether it's a grocery store or a park, I would imagine that a responsible adult would step in and make a comment. So hopefully the board will review how we handle inappropriate behaviors from students. When this kind of behavior goes on, I believe it is the duty of this board to make the community aware so that all parents have the opportunity to discuss such a topic with their children. This was not something that I felt comfortable doing with these students, but I felt like an adult had to intervene because I'm not sure how any other adult in this room would have reacted. But for me personally, it was because I'm a mother. I love students. I want to protect them. That was my job here. But I feel like at this point, if we're going to use a policy where only administrators are discussing behaviors with students when that is so radical and the behaviors are so inappropriate, that I feel like the hands are a little bit tied of staff members to be able to intervene on behalf of protecting kids. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not here to retaliate or point fingers. This is more about policy change. It's unfortunate things went down the way that they did. This past school year was very difficult for me because during this year I lost 3 family members. And so to leave the district in this manner is a little poor for me. And on another issue that needs to be addressed is the fact that when sexual misconduct occurs between staff members, the person who's doing the violating, that's one thing to address their issues. But what about the person who is violated? Are they being addressed or talked to, or how is that handled? So in a very past old business, because I respect and love this community, my children graduated from here. Like I said, I dedicated my life to this district.
You have 1 minute left.
So I just want you to know that when you protect people who win trophies, knowing that they were inappropriate, because this person addressed me for proposition me, literally in front of students, and I was asked to avoid this person in the hallway. And then when I returned to work after the pandemic, I found out that this district did not fire this person for misconduct, sexual misconduct, that he actually was thrown a retirement party. So those are the 2 issues that I have. How do we handle sexual misconduct out of staff members between them? And how are we handling inappropriate behaviors out of students in hallways with no one watching?
All right, we'll take that under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Robin Griffinius. Okay. We have no other speakers registered. Board members, any other topics? If not, I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Volleyball's doing the 50th. Yeah, that's fun.
Right.
I'm assuming they're doing a reception or cookies or something. Yeah.